Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Welcome in. It's, it's a Wednesday night. You know what that means? It's Kevin and Phil.
All right.
Yes. You know, Phil, we talked about this months ago, and we're going to start the show off with it. You know, we talked about how difficult that 26 5A was going to be. And, you know, we started out the year, they had Wagner ranked in the state.
Right.
They had Alamo Heights ranked in the state. They had New Braunfels and Piper ranked in the state at several points throughout the year. But you know who they didn't have? They didn't have Veterans Memorial. And Veterans Memorial is now leading that district and has led that district from almost the second week of the season. I mean, of the district play.
Yeah, but you know who's been in love with Veterans Memorial, Cab, since last year?
Who's
That
that?
one-eyed scout.
Woo! I just they got that senior leadership, and Coach Perez has that system and those seniors that have bought in, and it's exciting, man. Um, it's really exciting to see what's going on there. Um, we talked about New Braunfels had a good squad going into this. You know, they had Carson Cox and Malachi Bowman. Um, and both of those guys are senior stalwarts. Malachi being a move in from Washington, and Carson, the Air Force signee. And so it's going to be interesting to see how far they can go in the playoffs. But we talked about senior leadership, but we didn't mention, we had DJ Jordan, Jamichael Moore, Zion Clark, CJ Shanklin. So that's going to be exciting, man, to see how far they can go. That's a school that's been
Yeah.
deep in the playoffs many times.
Yeah, Kev, I haven't gotten a chance to see New Braunfels play, but
Mhm.
again, I gotta say, who called it last year that this year was going to be something special for New Braunfels, the one-eyed scout.
Man, I'm so glad you remember. I don't have to pull the receipts, but you're right. You're all right. Um, but one team that uh, we didn't see Bernie Champion. I thought they would be fighting for that fourth place spot, if anything. And they clinched their playoff spot last night with their win over who was that they played? Oh, Tybee.
Yeah, they played Tybee, and look, Tybee showed something.
Yeah, I think Tybee's a lot better than people let on. Because I know Tybee was one team that they got Piper.
Right.
If I remember correctly, I can't remember if it was Tybee or Bernie that beat Veterans Memorial early on. Um, but we kind of I don't feel sorry for Spencer Valley, especially after I heard what district coaches have been saying. They're winners in the district, but they're not a pushover. And case in point, um, we watched Bernie Champion and Tybee
Right.
and Wagner and Spencer Valley were playing, and it was a 10-point game. And on paper, that game shouldn't have been close at all. You know, but we said it, man, that there was going to be 6 teams fighting for 4 spots, and as we head into the last 2 games, um, it's going to come down to Alamo Heights, Piper, and Tybee. and
Right.
got the who wins and who's got the tiebreakers and such. Because um, I think Allen Heights has the tiebreaker over Piper and probably over Tybee as well. I'm not sure. So it's gonna be interesting. It gives us a lot of reason um, to watch as these next few weeks roll through. Because we we're 3 weeks away from, or no, 2 weeks away from playoffs. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, because again, like we've seen Piper play twice recently,
Hmm.
and Tybee. When it comes to Bernie Champion, we saw that game last night, and Tybee had beaten them earlier by um,
Hmm.
10 points, I believe. So
Yeah.
so there's nothing sitting safe for Alamo Heights, sitting right there in
No.
fourth right now because uh, you know Tybee them could they could pop up in there. You just
Yeah.
never know. Looks like we'll see some good ball, and we're going to be able to see
Oh
who
yeah.
can either hang on or power through.
Yeah. And um, we went down and watched. Now that we've talked about that district, because man, that district is just a gauntlet. Um, but let's talk about the game that we went to watch tonight in Harlan and Taft. Um,
So for
you
us,
I'm getting used to these controls, man. I gotta I gotta calm down a little bit. Um, but we went out to watch um, Harlan. Harlan played Taft, and I think Harlan is in third place at the time of us watching that game. And I know that Warren was in a dogfight with Sotomayor, and this game tonight between Taft and Harlan was a lot closer than anyone expected. And
Oh yeah,
you know, I think there's two guys, and I'm not going to say no one else stepped up, but two guys for Taft that really stood out. Whenever we were sitting there together, and you were really excited about Zion. You want to talk about Zion? Let's talk about Zion's game a little bit, and I'll talk on Axel in a minute.
yeah. It was interesting because we kind of went there maybe to spotlight another particular person, but there was this point guard number two, and for Taft, had to look him up, Zion Barry, and he was quite impressive. Kev, I know you got caught up in traffic a little bit, but before you got there, initially, what was impressive about him was his ability going inside, and then to see that he could shoot the three ball and even a miss had good rotation on it. So he was really impressive. Finished with somewhere in the neighborhood of that 26 points in the game. I believe quite a efficient game. He looked good, but I cannot pronounce this young man's last name. Oh, but first let me apologize. Zion, we we tried repeatedly, at least eight
Yeah.
times, to download your picture as a feature so everyone could see the talented player that we're talking about tonight. But we just couldn't get it downloaded tonight. It doesn't mean that we aren't going to stop, that we're going to stop trying because we want people to be able to see the outstanding play that we're talking about. But Kev, they
But you
had
can go to look at Twitter at Kevin One Eye, and I did post about Zion Barry.
all
But I'm
right.
gonna steal your thunder, man. I'm gonna steal
Okay.
your thunder.
Go ahead.
because I'm gonna talk about Axel. Axel, it's the second year of watching. I watched him as a freshman, kind of fight and claw his way through. And Axel, I'm not gonna butcher your last name, but it's Tsuege. And man, Coach Willie Anderson,
TSA, right?
huh?
Is it
TSA,
TSA?
I'm not sure. Axel, I love you, dude. I love watching you play. But Coach Willie Anderson speak really highly of you, and they both play with the San Antonio Kings organization. And actually, Coach Willie's the one that kind of pointed me in their direction last year to go and watch these guys. So to see the development, to stay within the program, um, you know, that they're some scrappers, man, and that's a nice young nucleus they have to build around for the future. Because I think there was another sophomore, and then I think two seniors that played a lot, but they're in good hands, and we can talk about, uh, you know, Amani Francis. He whenever I look at his game tonight, he ran the floor hard. He plays a physical brand of game of defense, rebounds, and he pours in 16 points, and he played within the frameworks of the game because he never pressed, and we were watching. He kept playing, kept fighting. He had 7 points, and then within seemed like 5 minutes he was sitting on 16. And that was just I like watching him play. We watched him a lot last year, and to see the development that's taking place. And let's face it, and you'll talk about these other two in a minute, but with that young nucleus that they have, with some senior leadership from Zachary and Bryce Christian and number 23, I always forget his name, but with those guys adding that senior leadership, man, they got a nice nucleus, and I imagine they'll make a pretty nice run in the playoffs. Last year they made it to the last eight teams in the state. So, it'll be fun times. But and I'll talk about Jordan, and then you can take on with London. Jordan Mangum has always been a hard worker, and but from last week and this week, and we watched these guys early in the season. I mean, way back whenever it was the preseason tournaments and stuff, but to watch Jordan, the way that he runs the team to now, he's not a big rah-rah guy. He may be in the huddles. He's a quiet, determined, gets to his spots. But, it's just, man, he's grown a lot. I really like him, and I think he's doing a great job leading his team. So I look forward to seeing them play again Saturday at 11. And they'll play Warren, who's in second place as the time that we record this. But I'm gonna let you take off, man.
Okay. Look, I want to give an honorable mention shout out for Taft, number 11, Sue Shackelford, I believe is his name. Good hustle, good defense. Actually, I saw a nice stroke that he had. I really would have liked to have seen him shoot the ball more. He's a senior, so not much more chance to show that. But just wanted to shout him out because I really liked his play. But then there was Mr. Stoic player himself to me, just smooth and stoic. And that's London Jackson. Needless to say, Kev, I tell you, what I liked about him is that he knows his spots to shoot the ball, and he can stroke that three, shooting it. He's got his distance down that's going to get that shot. Even if it misses, it's going to miss good. It's not
Mhm.
missing badly, I should say. So that's really good about him. Playing his defense, noticing him taking opportunity on the dribble when he had a clear lane to the basket and getting there. What I would love to see more from him, and I didn't get an opportunity because he ran to his spots and hit his spots, could get that pick and pop. But what I'd really love to see a little bit more, if I could, and you commented on this, what you've seen, because you've seen him more than I have, it's kind of like a 5 dribble series. And I got the
Mhm.
chance to see that once tonight with the three dribble series, but I'd love to see him handle the ball more, just so I can get an idea of just how he goes using his offhand, his right hand to get where he needs to go.
And we talked about that. One of the things, when he gets the rebound or the outlet pass, he's not holding on to it.
Mm.
It's one dribble, two dribble, push it ahead, and that's really a compliment to the speed of the game,
Yeah,
where colleges want to go faster, and the game and the tempo is faster. You know, I will say one thing that kind of goes under the radar with him. Um, he had 3 blocks and had 5 rebounds, but the 3 blocks is significant because I've seen him knock deflections away, and last Saturday it wound up getting him in foul trouble, and
yeah,
tonight it seemed like he did a better job of defending without fouling, and I think it's a big thing, and when we start looking at um, the performances translate to the next level. You know, I think you gotta speak about London's shooting ability and getting down the floor. But more important, the other side of that note is I think Francis, um,
yeah.
interior defense, physicality, 6'7" strong, and the ability to take the ball in the open court. You
Well,
know.
yeah, but and of course, I really like Amani Francis.
Mhm.
I love his handle for a big guy like that. The only thing that I would say is that um, I'd like to see him show himself a little more for his shot, right? Because
Mhm.
I think those are missing buckets that he could get, just showing himself more. And I
Yeah.
understand that it may look like, hey, I want to stay, in the realm of, it's like I don't want it to, how some people don't want to seem like they're wanting the
Dominant.
ball and wanting the ball.
Mhm.
Yeah, kind of dominate a situation. But with his talent, if he presents himself more, it'll look. It'll only open up things even better for London, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
now you're seeing that you've got someone else that is going to be set to get that ball at any time. And like I said, he's got the handle to get it down, uh, get downhill to the basket whenever he wants. So it's all good.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think that that's something that we've talked to really all three of them about is they're all going to help each other. You know, but there was a big night that to be had last night, and I don't think you and I even spoke about it to each other. But Will Franklin had himself a 50 ball last night. And I was very happy for him. Um, Over there, East Central, I think they were playing Buda Johnson, and that's a
Yeah.
doghouse kid, and that's a guy that works hard, doesn't say a whole lot, just keeps working. Now, happy for him. And that was Will Franklin.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But so all in all, good night. Good night for the city. Um, I like this time of year because we got to watch a ball game last night. We got to watch a ball game tonight. Uh, all right, I'm gonna hit the road tomorrow and head to Austin to watch Austin Prep play Dallas Christian Academy. Some big prep programs, and then Friday night we'll be back up there to watch St. Michael's is going to play host to Second Baptist, and that's going to be a fun game because of you remember Skip Tumalu, Ray for Austin.
Oh yeah, Ray for Austin for sure.
Yeah, so Lil Skip plays for Second Baptist, and they have a second guard named Kason Hall, who, man, he's a tough customer as well. So they'll come into St. Michael's and play the Nolan Barkley, the Son Jinkle, and those guys. But
I
it's
like
really
Son Jinkle.
Yeah. Hey, get this. The coaches are brothers. I mean, that's the state champion of 5A taps last year and the state champion of 6A taps last year. And they're going to go at it right before the playoffs.
Wow.
So that's going to be exciting. And then we'll be back down in the city for Warren and Harlan. Watch that battle take place. I just want to, I'm going to show a little clip about what wins in college. And you'll like this one.
So for us, everything we that we do is built on a few principles. We talk about toughness a lot in our program. I really believe that the toughest team always wins. I don't think we've ever lost a game where we've been the tougher team, throughout my 20.
We had a great sit down with Coach, and hold on. Phil just did it again. So Phil gonna need to come back in. But we're talking about recruiting, and too many families are looking for a trick, and there is no trick. There's no shortcut. And we're putting together. We've written a book, and the book is titled The Parents Recruiting Roadmap, and it's got 10 of the questions that I'm asked most on the road, and kind of lay those things out for everyone, and you can buy it at the on Amazon, or you can use the QR code right here and go ahead and get online and make that purchase. But hold on, we get Phil back in here now. All right, Phil, I forgot about that, man.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about exposure, and parents trying to rush the process. And too many times, man, I tell parents, like, until your kid is ready for that exposure, sometimes it's better not to have them exposed, and so I really wished that we could have more parents focus on development, in the early grades up to eighth grade. You know, there's a lot of push to hurry up and get into AAU and travel, and I just think that there's too many games and not enough development. And there really needs to be a true happy medium with that. Um, and so, like, you know, we talk about the doghouse, we talk about different trainers in different places, but it's such a big thing to really focus and hone in on.
You know, so for
That,
us, everything we
hone in on that development. And I'm going to have to develop some skills. Quit hitting the wrong button. But no, man, what do you think about that? I mean, you grew up in a time, and you've been around basketball for a long time. Have we kind of lost the notion of development, in your opinion?
Well, you know, Kev, the thing, the during the time I grew up, the only AAU you ever saw was when you were going through your alphabets. You know,
Mhm.
we didn't have that back then, and I think in listening to other coaches and people talk that, um, you know, somehow AAU has kind of lost its value, so to speak.
Mhm.
And you know, with a bunch of people just trying to get bodies out there and all. Well, if you're out there and you're on the circuit and you're just running, it's like an NBA team. When do you really have time to practice and, you know,
Yeah.
and do your thing? So, um, yeah, some of that you I think this is where maybe there's that adult in the room that
Mhm.
says, okay, look, we think you have some potential, son. So let's get those skills honed some and then let you show. Because
Yeah.
once you present, that's what people see. You see, and if you present poorly, especially in two or three situations, you got a big mountain to overcome versus if you light it up, then have an off game, people say, well, look, I've seen what he can do. So
Mhm.
we'll just, you know, you kind of get a little benefit of the doubt play. You know, it's hard to change that perception when people are seeing something down the line. So you really want to go in to me, you want to go in as a solid product. Look, you're not going to be refined and all of that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what Kevin's saying. But you want to have a modicum of skills to where you're showing, you're presenting, and people are saying, "Oh yeah, I can see he's got something. Oh yeah, look, we can work with this."
But you know what,
Yeah,
man? You said something, and you said the adult in the room, right? And what I find is there's so many adults that are in the room that are living vicariously through their kids. And
yeah.
so you run down to the situation of not
Maybe I
letting.
should have said responsible adult because you know I was I was trying to base it on I guess since I was back in my day of seeing more of that than the you know the whole chasing of again vicariously living your life through your child that you know you want, right?
Yeah, you know, I hope people are finding this valuable, and if you are, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Um, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us a lot. Um, you know, feel and kind of to wrap this all up. Um, districts are winding down, and we all know that defense is gonna win out in districts, and it's gonna win out in scholarships. That's the number one thing that's on a coach's mind, even before that. Can you get 20 points or can you score it all? Is can you defend your position, and can you rebound your position? And we're going to make it a point that for next Wednesday, that we're going to look for people that are rebounding, quote unquote, out of position, meaning they're showing their athleticism. And we'll have a few clips for next week, so we can show people what as we ramp up for playoffs, we ramp up for AAU, we ramp up for development. I just want to thank you guys for joining in. For me and my man Phil Townsend, have a good night.
All right.